Yeah, the mic's been off this whole time.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So let's redo this. It's a 10-minute break. We're gonna get back on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Great start. Great start to the new season.
Yeah, the mic's been off this whole time. Yeah.
I say, let's just...
Okay, so really quick recap, because apparently I'm gonna have to go and
Cyberpunk not as bad as everybody thinks.
Yeah.
That video game reporter, what's her deal?
Yeah. The remake of Perfect Dark and Fable.
Should be cool.
Hopefully. Sephiroth coming to Super Smash Brothers.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Video Game Awards.
You missed a lot of punny jokes, though.
Yeah. Alright, so Sephiroth. God, I can't believe our mics has been off this entire time. God damn it.
In my defense, I'm just the talent, man.
God damn it. Oh, I'm gonna get roasted later on stream for that one. I know I'm gonna get roasted.
I'm surprised somebody's watching us now talking shit.
Yeah. Shit.
There's the audio.
Yeah.
Snousage.
Watch your latest video.
Does it have sound? Because apparently we're bad at hitting record.
Yeah. No, we hit record. Apparently I just didn't unmute after we did the fucking intros.
See, I saw the red light on, so I thought we were cool.
Yeah, I was like, no, we should have... Wait. I'm just gonna have to start using the fucking manual mute.
Mm-hmm. We'll get our shit together.
Eventually. But, yeah. Sephiroth and Super Smash Brothers.
So, Sausage, welcome to the chat.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I want to say she probably follows O'Neill. Or he or she. Because, watch my latest video.
I don't know.
It's probably somebody plays with.
Okay. I don't know. I think Sephiroth's gonna be fucking busted. I really do. Because he's got that big ass fucking sword. If they build him according to how he is, he's gonna be fast as shit, and he's gonna have some stupid strong attacks. So I see him as being top tier, if not busted.
And if Kirby gets the...
Oh yeah, if Kirby gets it, it's gonna be a pink ball with a giant sword. Unless instead of the sword they give him the one angel wing.
What does he do with one angel wing? Fly around in circles?
I guess. Like, Sephiroth can actually fly, but like, what would be the significant difference between giving him a sword or giving him the wing?
I was talking about that earlier, and for some reason, I don't know what the hell you were talking about. Ostriches not being able to fly, and I'm like, yeah, and then I was like, there's a couple birds that don't fly. And he said something, and I was like, I mean, what is the point of like a bird with wings and they can't fly? Mm-hmm. And he was like, because they lay eggs. And I was like, snakes lay eggs? They don't have wings? He was all, it's a good point. What the fuck? I was like, what the? He was like, man, you dropping facts over here. Goddamn, huh? It's like...
I love how hype he gets when you make him look stupid. Like, I don't understand it.
Oh man, yesterday he asked fucking Sally if she's ever taken a man's soul.
I wouldn't ask Sally anything.
You know what that is, right?
Apparently not.
Like after you finish, like they just keep going anyways. Yeah.
Never heard it referred to as that.
I was standing behind him. Well, there's like a meme of that. I was standing behind him, and I'm like, why the fuck would you ask Sally that? He's like, hey, you gotta know sometimes. I'm like,
especially,
do you want to know?
Especially Sally.
I'm just trying to get out of my head.
Yeah.
And I was into it.
I guess.
Anyways, back to the show. Oh, it's what was it? Fucking The Voice. Lightyear.
Oh, we haven't got there yet.
Oh, I thought we'd skip it around.
I am curious.
Where did Rick Video Games work?
Yeah. I am curious, though, on what Nintendo's going to do for the next generation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you think they're going to be able to keep up with everything that's happening? Like, because, I mean, obviously they're a big company, but...
I mean, they're still selling
They have to
more.
go outside of their comfort zone, I feel.
See, that... Like, so, okay, the Switch is still selling more copies... Or more consoles.
Well, what's the top, like, selling game on that system?
Yes. Like, that's the thing with the Nintendo, is they have their headliners.
Right.
Mario games, Zelda games, Super Smash Brothers. Between those three, they're good.
Right.
You know, they're fucking solid. But my concern is, what are they going to do to compete with the next-gen gaming? Because right now, they're still selling more consoles than the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. But eventually, they're going to have to step up for the next generation. So, are they going to do a new console? Are they going to do a revised version of the Switch?
You wouldn't think, like, VR?
I think VR is dead.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like, you don't think anybody's going to nail it?
Not to the point where it's just all-encompassing.
See, because I've heard, like, Sony's pretty good. Like, the latest version of it pretty bad.
No, Sony's VR is great. You know, you have, like, Oculus. Their stuff is great.
Yeah, I like it.
Like...
That's the one that everybody talks about.
Oh, the Oculus? Yeah.
The system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Hive. That one is great. Like, there's a lot of really, really good VRs out there. But it's a very niche gaming. You know, because it's like me. Like, I love VR. But I can only do it for a set amount of time before it starts to give me a headache.
That, yeah.
You know, it's...
I feel like an old man saying that, but it's like, yeah, to 15 minutes.
Yeah, but like, if I'm playing a regular game on console, I can play that shit all fucking day.
Yeah.
You know, and plus, if I need to, like, get up to use the bathroom or get a drink or something, pause, walk the fuck away. I don't have to fucking take these things off my hands. I don't have to take off a helmet. Like, I don't have to fucking step out of a goddamn... You know.
Does it feel weird, like, when you spend, like, a bit in the VR and then you get out of it?
It's weird.
Like, walking is weird, right?
It's very weird.
You're kind of expecting to see a little circle in the corner pointing in the direction and shit.
Yeah, it's something that I learned because for me, it was always like, just, okay, take off the VR helmet and then go. And it would always throw me off. Like, it would throw off my equilibrium, or like my eyes would have a really hard time adjusting.
Oh yeah, the light's so bright sometimes.
Yeah, and it wasn't until whenever I worked at Glitch that he was like, whenever you pull somebody out of VR, tell them to close their eyes. And I was like, okay. So finally I tried it. Like, I actually got into VR, like, played it for a while, and I remember to close my eyes, and then I took the helmet off, waited a couple seconds and opened it, and everything was good.
Just made it easier to recover.
A lot easier, yeah.
So how long do you think before we get that spike to the back of our spinal cord? A la Matrix.
I don't know.
Do you think we'd ever get there?
Like at one point, if you would have asked me that in 2019, I would have been like, next like 5-10 years, maybe. But after 2020, I think we're a long ways off from that.
Yeah, you think BC was better than AC is gonna be?
Oh yeah.
See, I think. Well, I mean, like we talked about it before, but I think the movie industry definitely took a huge hit from COVID. I mean, you know, aside from all the losses of life, you know, there's also been like a loss of like getting to live your life.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like,
no, I'll definitely agree to that.
It's just we're not able to do anything anymore. I haven't been to the movies in a minute. When was the last time we went to go watch Joker, right?
Joker.
That was the last movie we saw.
Yeah.
In theaters, buttered popcorn, you know, overpriced popcorn.
Yeah.
I miss it. You know, and like I think the movie industry took a big hit, but I thought gaming, like, that's what you should have been doing this whole time. Just stay home and fucking play some video games.
Well, yeah, I mean, and companies have really like tried to embrace it, but kind of push that.
Yeah, the play
Because, like
stay apart but play together.
yeah. And that's actually Sony's thing.
Right.
Because there for a while, Sony. Okay, so if you have Plus, you get like your 2 or 3 free games every month.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving out extra free games to people, and some pretty heavy hitters at that.
Yeah.
Just to like encourage people. It's like, okay, some people are running out of games to play. Here's a free one. And some of them were single players, some of them were multiplayer, some of them were family games.
Yeah, I've noticed that more. I think there's a lot more family games, like family oriented or at least group.
Yeah.
Like Among Us and stuff. Like there's people that you specifically want to play with. You're not always together.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool because it kind of like brings you and your friends together without you and your friends getting together. So it like they've really been trying to do stuff like that, but not just the movie industry taking a hit, but the gaming industry as well, because you figure all these people work in the same building, in groups in their cubicles and their desks and stuff like that.
Right.
When COVID hit, you couldn't do that. You had to have your social distancing. A lot of companies ran really, really thin skeleton crews.
Yeah.
So, all that stuff has to be taken into effect, which if we wanted to, could go back to Cyberpunk. It could go back to so many games that have come out this year. But on the flip side, that's the other thing is like, normally we've got some okay games that come out at the first of the year. We usually don't hear anything for the middle, but towards the end of the year, like, that's when your heavy hitters start.
It's like right around Christmas. That's when the new Call of Duty's dropping.
Yeah, between like what? Usually between like October 1st and I want to say first or second month of the year, give or take. Like that's normally the point where like you start seeing like the big titles. Like you said, Call of Duty every November, like fucking clockwork. Mm-hmm. But this year we haven't been able to see that. Companies are running thinner if they're open at all. A lot of people are working from home.
So you think that was a reason for them dropping the Cyberpunk right away too? Like maybe kind of. I mean, that's another thing that could have contributed. Just let it out there.
I think that it could have contributed. I don't want to put too much stock in it.
Right, yeah.
Because if I remember right, they're a Polish company, CD Projekt Red. Like they're not even US based. And I don't know how severe it is over there. But I mean, this year has just been a train wreck for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
Businesses have taken a hit. Small businesses have taken a bigger hit. We have movie production companies, game production companies. Just across the board, it's been a really bad year.
There was some major chains going down too. It wasn't there was a ton of small businesses for sure.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
there was some big people getting taken down, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
There's just okay. There's no more of that anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's like here in El Paso, we have 3 Walmarts closed until further notice because of COVID. And it's like Walmart doesn't close stores.
No.
Like, that's not a thing.
And when they shut down Vegas, I knew this shit was real. Mm-hmm. When Vegas was like, nope. I'm like, whoa. They're throwing away billions of dollars a day.
Oh, yeah.
There's something wrong.
Oh, yeah. We might want to start taking this a little more serious.
Yeah, nobody did.
Yeah.
But that's another podcast.
Yay. Let's see what else. All right, here's one, actually, that I'm interested in. So you've heard me talk about Google Stadia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I say you're...
Yeah. So Google Stadia, and then Amazon just released their cloud gaming service.
I was interested in that. I was like, I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah. Microsoft is on the verge of releasing theirs. And I actually should have brought that up when you said, what do you see as like gaming going? That's where I see it going. I see cloud gaming becoming much more prominent. You know, because Xbox has never been one to kind of just jump into something. You know, when PlayStation did VR, Xbox didn't.
Right.
And that to me was kind of the telltale sign, like, okay, is this Sony being proactive, or is this Microsoft knowing, knowing that this is going to be an up and down industry, so we're just going to stay away from it. So when
that's an interesting point.
Yeah. So when Google Stadia came out, everybody was like, that's never going to work. And at first, it was shitty. It was super shitty. But as it's built up steam and it's built up momentum, like, I'll be in here playing Stadia for hours.
Yeah.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. But here, it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago is when Amazon dropped theirs. So that's come out. Very under the radar, though.
I got my money on Musk.
Yeah. Well, now Microsoft is getting into cloud gaming. So that, to me, is kind of like, okay, when you have Microsoft taking an interest in something like this, that's kind of what you want to watch for.
Continue. But I'm saying, hold on. I'm going to finish my Butterfinger, then I'll finish my thought. Do you think Microsoft is still like the preeminence? Like, you think they're still like that's your cornerstone? You don't think any other company has been like Microsoft? You know, they did great. I'm not shitting on Microsoft at all, but it's got to be a new up and coming company that's like, hey, we're kind of on you guys.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I don't see them as like the be all end all.
Right, anymore.
Like, yeah, no, not even close. But I definitely take notice when they take an interest in something, because when you think about how long Microsoft has been around.
Oh yeah.
You know, years, decades even.
Yeah, I think 60s,
something like 60s, that. Like, I mean, they've done computers, they've done gaming, they've done software, they've done hardware, they've done everything. They've done consoles.
Yeah.
You know, their first, aside from like the computer and everything, the first thing that they really, really did that let me know that they were trying to step up their game was the Kinect for the 360. It's like they created a camera, and I want to say it was about that long, maybe about that wide.
Yeah, I used to have that.
Yeah, you know, and it was awesome, and it worked. That's the thing, is it
cool.
Worked. You had to have a fuck ton of room, but it worked.
No, that was Dan Stanton revolution and all over the place.
Oh yeah, all over the place. But
never hit the right buttons though.
Yeah. But again, it worked.
Yeah.
So they were trying something completely different.
That thing was hella cool though.
Yeah, and then they released it for the Xbox One, and it worked better. You know.
What happened to that then?
So there was a really big controversy over it, because the first one, a lot of people got, I don't want to say scared over, but when the tech started coming out, like for me, I found the tech interesting because it was using heat signatures plus photo sensors plus infrared. That's how it kept track of where a body was.
So it's all like Skynet, people got scared?
Yeah. Well, then they released the new one for the Xbox One, and this is back when Xbox One first dropped, and it was total garbage. Because when the one first dropped, it had to be online.
Oh, I remember that.
There was no other option.
Yeah, and then that was the first time where it was like you had to pay for it too, right? Because
no.
PlayStation was still doing it for free, and then Microsoft was charging, no?
Yeah, but the thing was, even if you didn't pay for it, that was fine. You could still play your Xbox, you know, without paying for gold. But they had it set up so that it had to be online at all times, because every 24 hours, it did a check to make sure that you weren't running illegal software, illegal hardware, mod chips, anything like that, and that the person that it was registered to, where it was registered, was still legitimate.
Yeah, see, that would get my paranoia too.
Yeah, see, okay, so that was fucked up strike number one.
Yeah, that sounds shitty.
Fucked up strike number two came at the premiere for the Xbox One, because there was a CEO. I think it was the CEO at the time said that if you don't like your console having to be online all the time, we have another option for that. And everybody was like, oh, okay, cool. What is that? Don't buy one.
Wow.
Stick with the 360. That was strike number 2, because that was pretty much telling gamers, like,
enjoy it.
Hey, this is our rule. If you don't like it, fuck off.
Wow.
Strike number 3 is when it was found out that while having to be online all the time...
You're saying having?
Shut up.
Okay. It caught my ear twice. The first time I let it go, it might have been.
So while the console had to be online all the time, if you had a Kinect, it was constantly recording audio. That was strike number 3.
Even if it was turned off?
Yes. Even if your console was turned off, it was still running enough power through the console and into your Kinect to record audio into the console at all times. That was strike number 3. So it was at that moment the Kinect pretty much died for everybody. And like, they don't make games for it, they don't make anything for it anymore.
Did they ever give any reasons behind that, or it was just that's where they left it?
So the reasoning that they pushed the hardest was because the console was focused on being, just like they do with every console.
Was that the one that was voice activated to turn on?
The 360 did that as well.
Oh, okay.
It was just like an added bonus feature to having a Kinect because it had the mic in it.
So technically, didn't the 360 always listen to you too?
No, because the 360, it was programmed in such a way where if your console was off, it would turn everything else off. Like, there was no sleep mode, there was no standby mode.
How would you turn on with your voice then?
Because it was programmed so that when it would recognize specific keywords like Xbox on, then it would trigger, just as if you were hitting like the power button on the remote, to bypass. But it was just that specific phrase.
So that, I don't know, because I have the Nest and I love it. Like, always comes in handy. I'm always like, okay, Google, but a lot of times I don't even talk to it, and it's like, you want me to set a timer for what? And I'm like, bitch, who are you talking to?
Yeah. But for this, like, it was only registered to hold that one keyword.
All right.
That was like the remote power button.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, for the Nest, it's the same thing. You have to say, okay, Google, and then it'll turn on.
Yeah.
But it just turns on randomly sometimes too, so it's always listening.
Yeah. But it's listening for keywords. Or that's what it should be doing.
Right.
But when the Xbox One version came out, it was always on. Because they tried to sell it as, again, just the same way they do with every Xbox, to be the center of your home entertainment hub. Which I get. It's a good selling point. I'm
totally into that whole
because
smart house thing.
Yeah, because you have consoles. I mean, we have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, movies, music, video games, like so much. So I understand wanting to press that version of it, but when it comes out, hey, your Xbox is listening to you all the time, they tried to defend that by saying that since their console is meant to be like the family gathering place, it's listening in the event that there's ever an emergency. And it's like, okay, but if there is an emergency, what the fuck is my Xbox gonna do? So that fell through pretty fast.
The smartwatches have saved lives before too, though.
True, but when
you fall down in your living room, it's convenient.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if I fall down, what am I gonna do? Xbox on.
Yeah.
And then what? Xbox, call the police. I brought up movies about police. Like,
right,
what the fuck is it gonna do?
Police Academy too.
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, yeah. We still call the cops though.
Yeah. So it's like, it can't make phone calls. You can't send emails.
I can do that with my Nest.
Yeah.
And the Stadia is supposed to be better than the Nest, right? Like, that's the next version up of it.
What do you mean?
The Stadia, because aren't they both Google or?
Yeah, but Stadia is Chromecast.
Oh. But it does a lot of the same features too, right?
Yeah.
And then it does everything else that it does.
Yeah, which is actually, it works really well.
And I try to get my free one.
So that fell through really, really fast. So back to the original question, I don't believe that Microsoft is the cornerstone anymore, but it's definitely something to take notice of when they decide to follow a path of like the Stadia, because Stadia got into cloud gaming, and now Xbox is like, you know what, that's actually a really good idea. We should do the same thing because it allows players to play our games in more places. Which is true, because if you have the Xbox Game Pass, you'll eventually be able to play it anywhere.
Right.
Whereas Google's biggest drawback is if you have an Android phone, you can play games on your phone. If you have a tablet, you can play it on the tablet. TVs, computers, whatever. But I can't do it on my iPhone because Google Stadia doesn't support iOS.
Okay, so this is the question that I wanted to lead up to was, like, as far as the cloud gaming and all that stuff goes, how do you feel like, okay, so you're not going to be lugging around a console anymore, right?
Correct.
You're just going to have your account, and you can play it anywhere. What's the easiest way to access that?
For Stadia, it's any device that runs Google Chrome.
So you would have to have, like,
something that accesses Google Chrome.
A specific phone?
Yeah, well, right now, it's only Android phones. Because they're Android based, which is owned by Google.
Right.
That's why it's so disheartening.
Like the Google Pixel would be like
the prime device.
Right.
Because they have everything you need.
So then, do you think, I mean, they would be able to stay ahead of, say, like Sony, right? Because Sony doesn't have that mobility in that sense. Or do you think they would just release like a PSP version of...
See, that gets a little more technical, because while they are mobile, they're not mobile to that extent. Because, like, they have remote play. So it's like, if I take my laptop, like, to your work, for example.
Right.
I take my controller, I plug it in, as long as I have an internet connection, I can power my console on while it's here at the house. I can go through my entire game library. I can even stream. But I have to have an internet connection, and it can only be done from some form of computer. Which is cool. Because then I'm not lugging around my power cords and my console and a TV. Yeah.
So how far off do you think we are from like jacking in, just straight chip in the ear, just...
Realistically, I think that we're still quite a ways off. I don't think that we're...
But it's not like a super far-fetched thought, though. No, absolutely not. But I don't think it's something that you and I are going to see in our lifetime. Yeah. Or if we do... Kind of hoping we do.
Yeah. If we are lucky enough, or unlucky enough even, to see something like that in our lifetime, I don't think it's going to be for a very long time.
Dude, imagine how much people be complaining about glitches then. Shit.
For real.
Dude, I couldn't stand up for 4 hours. Like, right. What the fuck? All I did was try to put in my password and did it wrong. That was it.
Well, it's like Bash, his big thing is, like, he can't wait for full dive tech, which I love the idea of.
Which is what?
So, the one, I can't even say one of. The most well-known example that I can use is from Sword Art Online, the anime. Because there's initially what looks like a VR helmet, and the characters lay down in bed, they put this helmet on, and basically it hijacks your brainwaves.
See that right there?
So
it's just right there, just red flags everywhere.
Yeah, so that
it said hijack and my whatever. No, not good with it.
So that transfers you into the game, which is cool. Here's my issue with that. And again, same anime, SAO. In that game, the programmer is like, hey, congratulations, you're here on opening day. I decided to be an asshole. You can't log out till you beat the game. What the fuck are you gonna do? Let's take it a step further. if you die in the game, you die in real life.
I fucking love that show.
Yeah. Let's take that a
Still never
step further.
finished it.
Yeah, let's take that a step further. If you get unplugged, you die instantly.
Man, what if you get a fucking call? Who calls people?
Yeah, right? Weirdos.
I mean, that happens. Like with CSR, like, if I get a fucking phone call, I'm like, you son of a bitch, I just lost that race because I disconnected.
Yeah. But it's one of those things like, would I love to be able to experience that technology? Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely, because, you can...
I think after, like, the group of people do it, I'll try it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be one of the first testers of it.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, you live in a little one-bedroom apartment, you put on the full dive tech, and next thing you know, you're in this huge just realm of fantasy and possibilities.
That's what was making me think about this too. Is the pandemic, like, people aren't able to go out and engage with other people. They're not able to go out and be social with strangers. Like, you have your pod.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If you're doing anything right, you have your pod. You go to work when you have to go to work. Take all the necessary precautions, but you're not going out to the bar anymore.
Yeah.
And so, like, that'd be great for that kind of technology.
Yeah, because if you have that kind of technology and it's accessible enough, that's the key. It's accessible enough. You're not going to charge $1,000 for this. Not everybody can afford that. No way. But you make it to a point where it's $200-300.
I don't know how hard do you think it would work if it was $1,000 a year?
$1,000 a year? Oh, fuck that.
You wouldn't pay it?
Fuck no.
You're not able to leave your house yet. Like,
I don't leave my house anyways.
Yeah. There's no other way of gaming anymore.
I have books.
Yeah, see? And I think a lot of people don't think that way. Like, there's totally a bunch of adventures I can go on right now.
Yeah. Between all the books that you have, all the books that I have, plus the comic books that we have, plus the magic cards.
You got into.
Yeah. So it's like, that's not a big deal.
Right, for us.
Yeah, but it's like, if it's a one-time fee of $1,000 to get the hardware, maybe a little more inclined. Not by much, though.
See, but what about, like, kids that have been raised in this generation?
Oh, I think they're fucked.
Oh, totally, right?
I think they're fucked. Okay, this is how I always think about it, and how I always, like, when Rudy and I talk, or even when you and I talk, or me and Bash, or whoever. Growing up, it's like, we knew the value of hard work. You had to wake up with your parents, go to work, you fucking busted your ass all day to go home. You learn to appreciate that. You appreciate a hard day's work and the time you have off. Even more so the days you have off. Cool. For me, I grew up in the country. So I know how to take care of myself. If I'm lost somewhere, I know how to survive. I know how to hunt. Like, I have all these life skills to where if shit hits the fan, I'm good. What the fuck are these kids gonna do? It's like, you get lost in the wilderness. I know what to do. I saw this on Call of Duty.
Yeah, no.
That's not how this shit works.
Not how it works at all.
Some kid's gonna wipe his ass with poison ivy and be dead in 12 hours.
Yeah, see, I saw this, it was a meme the other day. It was an African proverb. And I was like, the elders, what is it? Always follow the elders because the elders have walked the path before. Or something like that. And somebody had written, like, yeah, but the new generation has Google Maps. And I'm like, it's not even a fucking
it's
valid argument right there.
Yeah, it's like, you're completely missing the point.
Oh, what if your phone's not charged?
Yeah.
Then what are you doing?
Or what if you have a fully charged phone and no signal?
Yeah. It's like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, if we're out in the middle of the ocean, I'm still not able to navigate by the stars. I'm sure there's somebody that can, because that's how they did it. Now, I know how to tell time by the sun, but,
Yeah. But that's, it's like, and I've tested people on this. Like, we'll go out somewhere. Or, well, not so much here.
Well, like, what direction are you facing right now?
Like, right now?
Yeah.
Let's see. South.
Yeah, I'm facing there.
You're facing, well, technically... Oh, yeah,
you're facing, like, northwest, and I'm facing, like...
No, because
Well, because West
hold on.
is right.
There. So that's north.
Right.
So
So I'm a little bit more north.
yeah, and I'm south-ish.
Yeah.
But I pay attention to shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. We're just aware of that.
Yeah. But it's like it's really funny, and I love doing this to people where like we'll go out somewhere and I'll throw them a map. Hey, where are we?
What the fuck's a map?
Yeah. And they'll look at it and they'll unfold it and they'll be like, okay, well, I don't know how to read this.
That's a map of Boston.
Yeah, right? And that right there, like, people can't even read maps anymore. You know?
I mean, true. I remember like when I was younger, we took a trip out to the Grand Canyon. And we went and bought a bunch of maps. Like, there was a map in between here and there. And that was it. We just followed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I remember my dad writing it down, you know? Like, drawing the little lines on it and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now it's... like, where do you buy a map? Have you ever seen a map for sale lately?
Gas stations.
Not even at a gas station.
Yep.
I haven't seen one recently.
If you go to the Circle K, they still sell maps. If you go to Walmart, you can still buy
Walmart, yeah.
you can still buy the books.
The books, yeah, with the index in the back that
Yeah.
shows you like grade A4.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that, but okay, let's modernize this a little bit. Say you have the access of technology, okay? Like you have your phone, it's fully charged, but you have no service. Okay, how would you navigate, for example?
About like in the complete dark, like in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would look for just like a landmark, like mostly just like I'm gonna walk towards that tallest tree.
Okay, that's fair.
And like look for anything. Like if I can find a fucking stream, obviously I'm gonna follow that.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so let's say you have your phone, you have just for the sake of the argument, you have like a solar charger, and you knew you were going out to the wilderness. Okay, so how would you prep for that? Like you get out there and you find out you have no signal. Like how would you prep assuming that you had no signal?
like my survival gear, what would I carry around?
Yeah.
Basically, waterproof matches for sure. Or either that, or I could probably make use with like a flint rock.
Okay, what would you put on your phone?
Oh, to put on my phone to survive in the wilderness?
Yeah.
A goddamn thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like for this argument, like you have a solar charger, so charging is an issue. But what tools would you put on your phone just to help?
I don't think it's really. It's just the thing with the stars. Like that'd be pretty much the only thing that I would think would be logical. Like the star chart, the star map.
Okay. A compass, one,
Yeah.
because your phones have accelerometers. Secondly, you can download Google Maps.
Oh.
So if you say, okay, I'm going to this place, it gives you a circle that you can open up as wide as you want to, and it will download everything in there. So that, and then your star chart. Literally, that's everything you need in the event you get lost.
Yeah.
People don't even know how to do that. People are like, oh, a star map, this is cool. It's like, no, like, these have, like, legitimate purposes.
Yeah. I think the only reason I thought about the star chart was because it has that compass.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I didn't think about the Google Maps. But that's true, man. Remember printers?
Mm-hmm. Yahoo Maps?
Yeah, you used to print out a fucking map to get somewhere.
I'm going from here.
And then your directions would be that long, 3 sheets of paper and shit.
Yeah, like 3-4 sheets of paper, and you're going like 6 blocks down. Go this way, go 3.4 miles, and then take a right. And it wouldn't even say take a right. It would have like the little icon. Yeah. I used to love that shit. Yahoo Maps and MapQuest.
MapQuest, yeah.
Yeah. I fucking love that shit.
Shit, man. Back in the day.
Yep.
I don't know. I think totally want to say we're better prepared for, just if all the power were to go out right now, I think, we'd be fine.
Oh, yeah.
But there's people out there stress the fuck out. Like, my thing's dead. My tablet, like, where do I charge this?
Well, see, and
Wait, how long has the power been off? Why is that guy dead?
right, it's been 10 minutes.
Look up, asshole.
What's really funny, and I was telling Ray about this one time. The last time the power went out, when somebody hit one of the transformers down here, I was good.
Yeah, no.
You know, and she's over here and she's freaking out like it's dark and we don't have this and we don't have this.
Everybody was in the world scenario.
Yeah, and I was like, I went and grabbed a book and off I went.
Yeah, I lit a candle.
Yeah, like I was good, and she was like, "What would you do if this was like a major emergency?" I was like, "What kind of emergency?" She was like, we lost power and the gas, turned off and all this other stuff. I was like, for one, the gas is never going to turn off. If it does, that's an issue in and of itself.
Oh, for sure. Man,
but
that pressure just there.
Yeah, I was like, but there's that. I was like, go fill the bathtub full of water. Fill your sinks full of water.
Yeah, a couple buckets.
Yeah.
Whatever you find.
Yeah, fill those full of water. Make sure nobody fucks with it. You're good. Whatever food you have, preserve it for as long as you can. I gave her this entire list, and the only thing she got out of it, why would you fill the bathtub full of water? So you have water?
Water, right? It doesn't always come out of that faucet.
Yeah. I was like, what are you going to do if you go take a shit?
See, I was thinking of Mitch Hedberg with that joke. If you ever get lost in the woods, fuck it. Build a cabin.
Yes!
Like, true that. Now you just live in the woods.
Yeah. And, the first time I heard that joke, I was on a laughing spree, and he said that, and I was like, that's actually a pretty good point.
Yeah. Now you're not that guy lost in the woods. You just
Exactly. Now you just live there.
Yeah, you live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
And, I saw a video like that, like this. I love watching videos like this, but this guy walks into a forest, and this is in Thailand or something like that, Japan, whatever. He walks into the forest, clears land, and builds himself a cottage, and it's a time lapse of him doing everything,
right?
And it's cool as fuck because it's that right there is proof that we still have people alive.
Well, that guy did.
That have this type of knowledge.
Yeah, no, I'd be fucked. I'm not building a cabin. I'm gonna die under just like a branch that I tore off.
Jesus Christ.
But what is it? The quarter notches? When they're building the boats.
Yeah.
And shit. No, no idea how to do that. Oh, this piece of wood's perfect. It bends.
Yeah. But it's I
need to watch
I love seeing people with that kind of knowledge. When our generation and older is gone,
right.
it's gonna be.
So what do you think the next frontier that's gonna be conquered would be? And do you think we'd actually be able to do it? Or as far as you see the trend of the new generations coming up, do you think they're ever really gonna colonize or fucking modernize Mars? Are we gonna be able to fucking colonize it? Or do you think they will be able to? Because we won't live to see that for sure.
Mm-mm.
Just to terraform the land itself on Mars.
The time that would take.
Yeah,
no,
totally
we're
not going to be alive for that. We maybe even see the start of it, but that's about it.
Yeah. Do I think that we can do it? Yes. But it honestly, what it breaks down to is if our generation can pass our knowledge on, that's going to be key. But if we're talking about just this generation, having faith,
as is,
having faith in them to grow up and be like, hey, let's go. Fuck no.
Yeah, there's no back in the day, when it was go west,
Yeah.
Go west, what's out there? Nobody fucking knows. You're just gonna go.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. We can start fire. We can hunt animals. We'll eat along the way. We know how to.
And that's not to say that there aren't geniuses in this generation. By no means. But the ratio from those people that are just exceptional. Like, they think so far outside the box
Right.
that they're untouchable.
Right.
The ratio from them to all the other kids is astronomically low.
That's what I feel.
You know, so if shit hits the fan, if our generation and older dies tomorrow, they are going to have to step up and become the leaders and teach the rest of them. Do I think that's possible? Yes. Do I think it's a high chance of probability? Absolutely not.
Right.
Because they're going to be like, hey, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. The next one's going to say the same thing. And you're going to have too many of these kids that'll be like, fuck you, I'm bigger than you. Or I'm smarter than you. Or, like...
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
See, like, I feel like our grandpas would do better in, like, that doomsday situation than our grandkids will.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
No contest.
yeah, like, that's just, those two generations are totally going to be different people, because we're right in the middle of it, I think. Like, we have a little bit of this, well, you more than I, but, like, the knowledge of, like, survival, you know, like, the knowledge of just live off the land, adapt, you know, fucking overcome, just do all that. Like, we have that in us.
Yeah.
But I don't know if a lot of this generation has it, and if they're going to pass on any of it.
True. But here's the other thing. Is, say, you, me, Rudy, Red, Bash, Ash, fuck it, let's just take those 6. Okay?
So if we get Brandon...
Okay, Brandon, 7. Let's take these 7. We go out in the wilderness, we get stuck, stranded, whatever. We all have different know-how. On top of that, we all have that understanding, okay, if we're going to survive, we're going to have to work together. That's pretty much where that stops. Because if we don't work together, then we work against each other, which means we die faster, we fight, blah, blah, blah. But if we all work together as one team, we can achieve more, complete a goal faster, and we have a better chance of survivability.
But that's like rebooting civilization, then. Like, 'cause it would be our sect, like, versus, like, you know, 3 houses down.
That's why the scenario is like if we went out somewhere and we got stranded. Like, we could survive and make it somewhere, like, you know, wherever, travel, you know, what have you.
Yeah.
Whereas the generation now, we don't have enough people that can say, okay, well, I know how to do this. Okay, well, this person, okay, I know how to do this. If we work together, we can accomplish more things. Because now there's so much infighting, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're better than everybody else, or the kids that are better than everybody else, they don't want to speak up.
Again, like, predetermined, like, judgments. Like, people are just way too judgmental.
Yeah, and nobody wants to work together.
Right.
You know, so...
That's true. I guess we did, I think, like, 80s kids, like, we were raised kind of in that, like, it was, like, a real big melting pot. You know? Like, it didn't affect me what you were, like...
Yeah.
You know, they were just like, hey, you're my age, just, you know, let's fucking go ride bikes together.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty much going to throw this out, because that's going to lead me to another point that I should have put on there that I didn't. Bringing that point to light, another massive thing. Yeah. A massive thing right now is, you know, how can I put this without getting a lot of fire for it?
I'm all like, I have a feeling we should throw in an unpopular opinion / fucking triggered warning here. The way you lit your cigarette at that angle
would be the unnecessary overuse of forced racism.
Okay.
That's the best way I can put it.
Example being?
So, especially in 2020, if not the last 6 months specifically, because if you think about 2019, you know, the biggest topic that we got on, and it wasn't even for that long, was gender specification. You know, we have males, we have female, and we have trans. and then we have asexuals, pansexuals. That's fine.
Yeah.
It was what it was. But now it's spiraled so far out of control that, for example, I want to say Chicago, but I'm probably wrong here. There was a lady that owns her own restaurant, not this huge chain, not some massive conglomerate, just a mom and pop restaurant. And while she cooked all different kinds of food, one of the foods that she made was an Asian specific food.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big a
like
deal.
cultural appropriation or whatever.
Yes. Not that big a deal. Well, somebody went in there, saw what they were serving, took pictures, took videos, went online, and for literally no reason other than it upset her, blew this lady out of the water. And it spiraled so far out of control so quickly that this lady had to stop serving, had to close one of her businesses. I think she had two. Had to spend money on a public fucking race appropriation course.
Right.
Like literally a laundry list over food. There was another lady in a different state who posted a picture, and she was like in her early 40s, late 30s, and it was like, hey, I finally opened my business, my lifelong dream. People didn't start attacking her for what her business was or for what she sold. They started attacking her because she had dreads.
Okay.
Because it was culturally inappropriate for this lady to have dreads. And they were long, they were to her waist long. For anybody that's ever had dreads, they're a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
A lot of maintenance.
And she was, I'm assuming she was, white?
Mm-hmm.
So people were getting on her because she had dreads and she was white.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it spiraled so far out of control so quickly that just to get people to leave her and her family alone while she was at work and she was being harassed by all these people, she took a pair of scissors and cut all of her dreads.
See,
clean off.
That's... I'm all you... What I disagree with mostly, a lot of that stuff, it's... You're ostracizing people for feeling that they may be ostracizing people. We're gonna totally cancel this because we feel this certain way. You shouldn't have dreads because... And it's who says,
Yes. There's another case where there was a younger black lady and she did competitive Irish dancing, which I didn't know was a thing.
I did not either.
But after looking up videos on Irish dancing, it's fucking impressive.
Like Michael Flatten's stuff?
No, we're talking river dance on crack.
Really?
Yeah.
River dance looks like it's on crack anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So this young black lady would go in and do competitive Irish dancing, and she enjoyed it. That was one of her passions. The people that went there were so offended because she wasn't white and that she wasn't Irish that they ostracized her to the point of making her feel like the only way to save face was to drop out of the competition.
See, that's
and I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Okay, so for one, I don't agree with racism anyways.
Right, no, yeah.
I think that it's a bullshit tactic to make people feel bad.
And again, the way we grew up, the way I grew up, just around here, it's just, there's everybody, So
yeah.
You can't really...
And
can't get choosy on who our friends are.
Yeah, and it's I will gladly state this live because we're still live. I am Native American and Polish by birth. I was raised Native American. I know my Polish background. My dad, the person that raised my brother and I, was black, so we were raised in a black household.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that entire melting pot.
Right.
And same thing, we grew up in a generation where it didn't matter if you were black, white, Asian, Hispanic. It didn't matter.
You're a prick. You're a fucking prick.
Yeah. If you were somebody cool to hang out with, if we had the same hobbies, we were friends. It was as simple as that. And now, like, I like to joke and call it the I'm hurt generation, because that's exactly what it is. You can't do anything without offending somebody for some reason.
Yeah, no, we're totally offending somebody right now, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. And it's complete garbage. It's complete bullshit. Like, I understand if somebody comes out, you know, if like in the middle of public or on the air or YouTube
like
or Facebook.
When people are doing like when people are getting angry about like blackface and stuff, like I understood that, right? Like, okay, that's insensitive for sure. But when they went all the way back to like the 50s and they're like, look at this guy, he did it back in the 50s too. Like, let's cancel this 80-year-old man now.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. You know, like, not to give it an excuse, but it was a different generation back then. They weren't as
open-minded as we are
open-minded now. For sure. Or, you know, like they gave no fucks really.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them weren't racist people, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like racism didn't exist, but
it was much more prominent back then.
Yeah, and then like we're still, I feel like America's still on that rebuilding like the trust phase for it. You know, because they did like, you know, there was a lot of abuse, you know, like towards other races and stuff.
Yeah,
and now we're trying to build it back up, and it's like, no, we're gonna get offended over this little thing now.
See, some of those points I certainly agree with. But the rebuilding trust phase, I don't agree with, because, like, us people as a whole have gone through a lot. And I'm not just talking white people. I'm not just talking black people.
Yeah.
You know, human beings as a whole have come out of a lot of stupid shit.
And this is one year that has to totally point that out to everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, because in the year of 2020, the pandemic, I have seen people of every faith, every creed, every nationality, every color, whatever, come together and support each other. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, that alone has rebuilt some of my faith in
humanity. It sucks that it takes, like, such a harsh tragedy to get us all together.
Yeah. But, you know, then we have something like, you know, okay, like when we had the unfortunate shooting here. El Paso strong, and that's exactly what we were. We were one city, like, together, combined. And then something happens, and we're no longer El Paso strong.
Yeah.
You know, it's everybody versus this or whatever. And it's stupid. It's the same reason why I could give a shit less about holidays anymore. Because it's like, I remember growing up, and it's like, you could live in a city full of just complete douchebags. But when December came around,
it was a little bit friendly.
Everybody was nicer to each other. For no reason other than it was December.
Yeah. Christmas
was on the way. Everybody, I mean, you might not have gone out of the way for somebody you didn't like, but you weren't douchebags. You know, everybody was nicer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as time has gone on, and I've seen humanity, let's call it for what it is, change. Like, I have seen it just completely go out the door. It's like everybody is against everybody now, and there's literally zero reason for it.
Yeah, I feel that too.
You know, and that's why, like, I don't go out of my way to remember my birthday. I mean, who am I kidding? I haven't remembered it for I don't know how long. But I don't celebrate the holidays. I don't celebrate hardly anything because there's no point in it anymore. You know, it's not like December comes around and I can go out and see an overall change in people. It's just not existent anymore.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that until we can get past this point of everybody being so hypersensitive about every single thing, and we can just start accepting people for who they are, we're going to go down a ball of flames.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more think for yourselfers out there than there used to be. Like, I mean, obviously, you take care of your family first.
See, Odie brings up a good point.
Odie.
Like in World War I when the soldiers called a truce on Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, let's just not kill anybody today.
Yeah. You know?
I mean, the killing resumed, but
Yeah.
for that one brief moment, it was like everybody just
but everybody understood.
yeah, it's called times these.
Yeah, during this time.
Said that I'm fucking to stop an entire war.
Yeah, and it's like we don't have that anymore. We live in a culture now where everybody is hypersensitive for any given thing, and the mob mentality spreads like wildfire over some of the dumbest shit.
Yeah,
like the human race is nothing to celebrate anymore. And it's like you can't even do something positive for your neighborhood or for your fellow man without somebody in the background. Oh, well, he did it for this reason, or he did it for this reason. It's like, no, some people legitimately just do things to be fucking nice.
And see, that's right. I feel like my point with like the rebuilding the trust phase, I think that's where that comes in. Because you can't see somebody doing something nice and then you automatically think, oh, that's a nice person. You're like, this dude's doing it to post a fucking thing on Instagram.
Yeah, or it's like, okay, he did something nice. What is he going to want in return?
Right.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, but it just is.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've spiraled way out of control on this.
Yeah, hey, we tried.
Yeah.
We got to number 4, I believe.
Something like that.
But anyways, Buzz Lightyear, totally different voices here. What's up with that?
Well, I say we call it there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's just, if you guys have ever watched this before, and, we tend to spiral off on conversations like that. But, I mean, in the goodness of our hearts and stuff, like, we have no ill will towards anything or anybody, I feel that, people, as long as you're not fucking somebody else's life up intentionally, and go for it. Do whatever makes you happy. Mm-hmm. But if your happiness is causing somebody else like severe unhappiness, not just oh, they got my fucking order wrong unhappiness. Yeah. Live your life the best way you can.
But that's the other thing, and I said this last night on the stream. Like, I've noticed, especially going back and watching our videos, a really big portion of what we do is just doing our part, I guess, to bring what little bit of happiness we can.
Yeah.
And for us, that's important. Probably more important than anything else that we do on this show.
Yeah, it's the way that we started the show. It's just, it's something that entertains us, and, fortunately, there's the 100+ of you that also enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. But, well, there was somebody that jumped on stream last night. I want to say her name was Anya, but I'm probably getting that wrong. And she was talking about coming in and supporting it, and I took that as a segue to say, hey, if you want to donate to the channel, we go through Cash App. We do everything for the Salvation Army. Our links here, blah blah blah. And she was like, well, I don't have any money. Otherwise, I would. And I was like, no. Like, that's not what I was trying to do.
That's why we're on a free platform.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not asking you to donate. I'm saying that if people want to, here's how.
Yeah, and just know that it's going to go to something good.
Yeah, but I don't feel like anybody should watch us and ever feel like they should donate or like put a sub on Twitch or no, we do this to lighten somebody else's day, even if it's one person.
Yeah.
Or bring a laugh or something knowledgeable or something.
Or make something click in somebody's mind.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing for us guys is if we can do that, we're good. We've done what we wanted to do for that day.
Yeah.
But, it's a very strong belief for any of us here at Discount Gaming that do what you can to make somebody else's life just a little bit better. A thank you, holding open the door for somebody, a brief compliment. You don't know what somebody else is going through. You never will.
No.
So, somebody could be on the verge of breaking just from what they're going through on their day-to-day life. And just a small gesture of kindness could completely change them.
Yeah.
So
See, I feel like I learned that with my work, like just being in the food service industry. Like I always tell, my employees and stuff, like, make everything the way you would want it. Like you go and like you've had like the shittiest fucking day, and all day long you're like, man, I'm fucking hungry. I'm gonna go grab a burger and a banana split. Make it the best burger and the banana split they've ever had.
Yeah.
Because just for that one moment, when they get it, they're gonna be like,
this is just what, yeah.
And that's it. Like that little bit, and you can influence somebody's, like, I mean, I guess not to like the bigger scheme, like their whole life, but you can affect somebody's day. And then, maybe the next day they wake up a little bit happier and they hold the door open for somebody. And that dude's like, hey. So you see somebody walking behind him with an armful of shit. Hold the door open for that guy.
And it keeps passing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing,
It's like our one rule. Just be good humans. Man.
Exactly. But guys, we are going to go ahead and call it there. I don't know how long we've actually been on.
Or how long this tangent would be.
Yeah, I know at least half of our show was muted.
Man, that was a good third.
Something like that. But guys, for those of you that do join us, and for those of you guys that do watch us, whether these are live or pre-recorded, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for all the support that you give us, for all the love you give us. Even if you watch us and you don't contribute in the chat, the fact that you're taking even just a few moments to watch us means a lot to us.
It really does.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, not to discount like the people that have hundreds of thousands of followers, but I feel like when we hit like 111 and we hit 112, we're like, hey, cool.
Yeah. So again, thank you. Legitimately, thank you. Until next time, I'm Iron Business 01. I'm
Mr. Blue No Damn E. I mean, you can look up on our page all of our social media like info's on there. So hit us up. I mean, feel free. We love interaction with you guys. So if there's any topics you want us to try to touch on next time, without getting too sidetracked, feel free to drop them in there, and
Yeah, absolutely. But as always, guys, take care of each other. Help each other.
Yourself.
Yeah, love one another, and please wear your masks. But above all else, guys, just be good humans. We'll see y'all later.
Thanks.